So the first step you're going to see me doing here is mixing up color for my background wash. I'm mixing up enough color to be able to cover the whole background and then have extra if I need to do a second layer. Wash is going to be helpful because it's going to help create a whole layer of color before you apply your other colors. So I'm starting off with like the lightest color I can see in my piece. So in all my leaves, I see at least a little bit of yellow. So that's why I chose yellow for the background. It's also going to make it less scary to then apply color on top of that. Then the next thing I'm going to do is go in and begin to apply some light wet into wet coats of paint into each leaf. So I'm just looking at those main colors that I can see in every single leaf. So like that first leaf, it was mainly just orange and red. I'm not going into super amount of detail. I'm just getting in those basic colors that I see and really letting the wet into wet take over the base layer of the leaf. As I'm painting, I'm trying to be mindful about the order of leaves that I'm painting through because I don't want to paint two leaves that are touching back to back because I don't want them to bleed into one another. The further I got into the painting, the more comfortable I became with using the wet to wet technique and letting the paint kind of take over and bleed out. I grew more confident with my color mixing and I started to go bolder. You can see this leaf and the next leaf, I go way darker with these guys just because I was starting to feel way more confident after doing those lighter colored leaves. After the first layer of wet into wet dried, I ended up going back in and applying another layer onto a couple of the leaves just to begin to add more details into them. That top leaf that I'm working on right now, I noticed had some of those little speckles and dots, and I liked how the other leaf came out, so I went in and added those in while it was still fresh in my memory and remember how to do that. Now I'm just going in and applying a background color just to get that out of the way before I started to work on the individual leaves again. I feel like by doing that, it starts to make the piece look more complete and it starts to come together before going in and adding even more details to the leaves. that's just using wet to wet here. I'm going through, I'm planning out where I'm going to be putting down my color, and then going back in with more pigmented color to try to boost that coloring in the leaves. Watercolor is all about layering. You always want to start light, put down all your light colors, and then build up to those rich, dark colors. You don't want to just jump right into a piece using your bold, rich, dark colors. You want to like layer by layer put them on there.